Hey loves, it's your girl MissRessaT, and I am back to tell you about the books that I read in the month of November. I read a total of 19 books in November, so let's hop right into it, okay? So the first book I read was Restore Me by J.L. Seegers. This is the first book in the, that series. I don't know what the series is called, but I gave the book initially on Goodreads. If you read my review, I gave it a 3.5. I said beautiful love story, just dragged out unnecessarily to the point I literally fast forward through like the last couple spicy scenes. Like I just felt like it was dragging out. But if I continue the series, I would read it myself because the female narrator blew me. That's what I wrote on Goodreads, and that was just my opinion. I did not enjoy the female narration at all in the book. I do think I will continue the series. I'm just gonna read it myself, but I am gonna change my score to a 4 star because once I think about it, the story was beautiful. It was a beautiful love story. It really was, and it was a delicate situation handled very nicely. Okay, short little synopsis: the main female male character, she lost her husband, and it's been a few years later, but of course she's still wrapped up in him, and his best friend starts to make her, they start to have some things going on, and I mean her husband's best friend. So it sounds messy, but it really isn't. It is some trigger things in it, but it's a very nicely written story. The next book that I read, are these in order? Oh gosh, hold up, y'all. Sorry about that. I'm reading off my Goodreads. I didn't have it in the right sort order. I'm MissRessaT on Goodreads, MissRessaT everywhere. For my bookstagram is at MissRessaT Plus. Next book I read was The Secret World of Maggie Gray, okay, by Granger. This is my first book by Granger. I have read Desiree, her The Perfect Sister, which I did enjoy that book. At some point I need to read book 2. But this book, y'all, first of all, is crazy because I don't follow, like I watch Book Talk, definitely, but I'm never up to date with Book Talk. Like I'm never reading what y'all read. Like the new stuff that's coming out, because I'm just getting to all of this. I'm reading a whole bunch of older stuff or whatever. The Secret World of Maggie Gray was recommended to me in the beginning of the year, y'all. Like in the beginning of the year, someone's like, oh, you like this type of, you like paranormals and all that, like fantasy, like you need to read this, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna read. Some point I'm gonna get to it. I downloaded this on my Kindle and went on vacation and read this book, and I was so mad, y'all. I found out there's a book 2 and it's already out. It literally came out like maybe a month before I had read it. I think First Family came out last month, and I didn't download it. I didn't have it on my Kindle. I was so sad on the cruise. I had to wait. But The Secret World of Maggie Gray, 5 freaking stars. Okay, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. If you can't, that's my Harry Potter series. My Deathly Hallow bags, my Ravenclaw keychain, my wand. Okay, I have blankets. I have all kind of other Harry Potters. I'm a Harry Potter fan. Okay, and this gave me. I have not felt so much wanting to be into a world since this world. Take me there. Okay, I'm still waiting for my Hogwarts invite. That's how I feel about this book. It excites me so much. Because it's an HBCU with all the things, all the fantasy things. You got nymphs, you got sirens, you got shapeshifters, you got vampires, you got it all. And it's like the world is so very much thought out. I think it's very, very dope. I'm definitely part of the hype on that series, and I'm glad. I'm with y'all because I'm always behind here. I actually got my. Oh, let me show y'all. Oh Lord, what happened? I got my merch. Like I got my first piece of merch from this world. Like it's serious, and I'm gonna go back and get something else because I didn't get my acceptance letter with my merch, so I'm gonna order something else so I can hopefully they send me a acceptance letter. But yeah, I hear for Drew Collins. So of course, the next book that I read is The First Family. Breakdown of both of the books. There's a million. It's popular right now, so I'm not gonna go into it because my video is gonna be long enough. But yeah, I'm here for Drew Collins University. I'm here for the whole series. 5 stars for The Secret World of Maggie Gray. 5 stars for The First Family. I'm so happy for Granger, even though like I've been in the group but I've never like paid attention to the group. Because like I said, somebody recommended to me a long time ago, but I just never went into it. But the way she interacts with her readers and everything, she's become one of my favorites. So the next book that I read after I read those 2, I'm out of breath. That got me all excited. Was The Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron. This Poison Heart. Dang, I do read. Can I see? This book I gave a 5 star. This was another 5 star for me just because it's right up my alley. It is like it's YA, but not really. It's like YA with a little cussing. So it's plants and Greek mythology. That is all me. Like, give me plants. I love Greek mythology. I very much adore this book. It's basically it's a young girl. She's like 17 and she has these powers that she can manipulate plants and grow them and things. And it turns out like this is something that actually runs in her family, but she don't know her real family. But by the end of the book, she is learning who her family is and goes on this whole journey. I very much recommend it. It was up my alley in the fantasy world, like I said, but it does read YA. It is YA, so it reads YA. So I would love if this book had like a little more adultness to it. I would say everybody would love this book, but it does read young. The next book that I read was Dear Vicky by Octavia Grant. This was my book club's November quick read or October's quick read, one of the months quick read book, and I did not read it in that month, but I did want to go ahead and knock it out. This is my second book from Octavia Grant, so I already knew it was going to be unhinged, and indeed it was. Like, sir, are you serious? Like, bruh, just unhinged. Like, I can't even say you got to be careful how you talk to people, because sis was not even like flirting with this man. I mean, it just went too far. It was crazy, a crazy book, crazy, wild. I mean, Octavia Grant would just write all kind of foolishness in 60 pages or less. Like, what? Very good book. If you're looking for just a quick read, if you're into like gore or like horror, not really like a scary story, but it was like if you don't mind some unaliving, then it's the book for you. Nice quick little story. The next book I read for was the Reformatory by Tana Reeve. I'm getting on my own nerves, y'all, and I'm not starting this video over again. But 5 freaking stars. I've been holding off this book. I knew I wanted to read this book all year. knew I was going to read this book, but I have just been holding off because I'm like, oh, it's long and lengthy. I read a lot of long books. Like, I gotta find the right time to read it. Baby. I'm already a fan of Tana, Miss Do. I'm sorry, I'm very bad at names. I'm already a fan of her because I thoroughly enjoyed the African Immortal series. I read the first 3 books here these past few months, and then I'm actually on book 4 now because I wanted to finish that series before the year is out. But I loved the first 3 books. I already loved her, and nothing but great reviews. I haven't heard a bad review about this book, and it is warranted. This book is so good. I thought this book was going to be so triggering. I was like, I started reading this like shortly after the election, and I'm like, oh, Caressa, I don't know about this, but baby, it was so beautifully written. Like, as long as it was, when you read Screamed Alone books and you don't even realize they screamed alone, you know that thing good. So I wrote my review on Goodreads. I said, so triggering, but also so beautifully told. The Reformatory had me just stunned. Despite the evil in this book, the resilience, the love, the ancestral guidance shines through. This is a book I don't ever see me forgetting, like for real. Like, I feel like this book is maybe a book I even reread. Really enjoyed that book, and it's a historical fiction book based loosely off like real life things. You just gotta read it. I went into it blind, you go to it blind. So, like, I don't know how to really describe it. Okay, the next book after that, I needed like a fluff, or I needed something different to break up from all these the past few books. So I read this quick short book I saw people talk about on one of the Facebook groups called Stiff, Heavy on the D, book 1, by Stephanie Nicole Norris. 5 stars. Okay, Miss Stephanie, 5 stars. The name of the title is Stiff. Okay, you figure it out. The next book that I read, this has been on my fantasy list. I will say I did not expect to read this book in one day. I read this book. I actually listened to this one on Hoopla as an audiobook in one sitting. Okay, I didn't even realize I was knocking this book out. Really enjoyed this. So this is The Poppy War by R.F. Kwan. I gave this a 4.5. Goodreads don't have 0.5, so I just write it in the review. But maybe we switch it over to Storygraph in 2025. But 4.5, really amazing story filled with the things I love, like a strong FMC and her fulfilling her destiny. I love books like that. Love the school and the battle aspects. I did zone out briefly a few times, so that's why it's not a 5-star, because I do remember listening, and like I didn't have to start anything over, but I knew, I'm like, oh, I wasn't listening that hard doing that part. But it's a great story following a young lady who's adopted, and she's in a not so well family that adopted her, but they try to, like, I don't know what's in the synopsis. I go in books blind, y'all, so I don't know what I can tell and what I can't tell without telling y'all the freaking story. But yeah, she ends up having to take hold of her own destiny to change the plans that her parents had for her in her life. She ends up at this military school where she is very much not up to par with her other people, but maybe she gets there. She does what she needs to do. It's a very well written story. So the next book I read was This Wicked Fate. This is the Poison Heart 2. So this is the sequel to This Poison Heart. This one I gave a 4-star. It concluded the journey that the main character went on in the first book, This Poison Heart. I just gave this one a 4-star because I was just ready. wrapped this up. But it was good. Like, so when I say that stuff, like, I don't mean, like, it was good, but like, okay, now we dragging, let's go ahead and get this resolved. Like, literally, they had to wait a week for, which was, I love that part because it was realistic. Like, you know how, like, oh, we need to get fake passports, let's get them today. Like, no, that stuff takes time to get fake passport, transport. It's like, it's going to take a week to get. So the book could have been like 1 week later. But later we had to sit through that week through the book. So that's what I mean by stuff like that. But it was a very well written book. I actually would recommend those to like young adults. I really enjoyed that series and the whole plant aspect of it. And I learned about so many plants because some of the plants in the book were actually real. The next book I read, starting another series, is Set from Them Boys, book number 1 by Alexandria House. I gave this book a 3-star. It was good. It was a good story. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I wasn't sure I was going to go on to the next series because I didn't really fall in love with Set, but I'm so glad I did because I found my first official book boyfriend. Because I don't be idolizing these ninjas like y'all do. Like, these ninjas they be a no for me. But I found him, y'all. Y'all can have Set, y'all can have Shoot. Okay, so that's book number 2. I gave that book a 5-star. I loved everything about Ja. I really did. I just connected with him, the way he showed his love, which all 3 brothers show their love very intensely, but it was something about the way Ja showed his love, and just, I like a proactive man. I just like, you know, Ja. Okay, and then the third book in the series, of course I had to read the third book to go ahead and finish it out, is Shoe from Them Boys number 3 for Alexandria House. I gave that one a 4-star, also a good book. So I enjoyed the last 2 books more than I enjoyed the first one. I'm glad I kept going on that series because I really enjoyed that. And then I started going into, I wanted to go down Miss Granger's catalog here, so I had a list of the books to go in order. So I read For the Love of ATL 1 and 2. The first book I gave a 5-star. Second book I gave a 4.5. Now I will say with Miss Granger, also I didn't mention that with Maggie, she's saying person wrote Secret World of Maggie Gray. I am a grammatical, I don't usually like books that have errors in it. Like I can't say I'm like the grammar police because when I write I make a lot of mistakes, but because I'm aware of that, I run it through several people, especially when it's like a business thing. But she writes these books so damn good. I see what y'all mean when y'all say y'all can just read through it or you understood it. Because I don't normally, I can't lie. I'll be like, I'll stop. But her books, it's so much, it's so good. I be ignoring the grammar issues. For the love of Ace, these were real people. Like she literally said she know these people. Like, these are very good stories. Very much enjoyed that. And then I took a break from that series to read Along Came a Spider with Alex Cross number 1 by James Patterson because I wanted to watch the TV series, and I knew it wasn't gonna, you know, I didn't have to read the book to watch the TV series, but that was just me. I wanted to read one of the books just to see if the book was better than the series of the show. The show was freaking excellent. The book was excellent. I gave the book a 4.5. It was really good. I want more books like that, like crime solving books, because that's what I love to watch, like Law and Order and things like that. So I really enjoyed that book, and I'm glad I did read it before the series because there's certain aspects that was like, not a whole bunch, but like they mentioned the crime that happened in the book in the TV show. So shout out to that. And then I ended the month reading the 3rd and the 4th book from The Love of ATL by Desiree Granger. So I read the last 2 books. I gave both of them 5 stars. That whole series was crazy. If you like multiple POVs, I ain't gonna lie. At some point I was like, all right, now another person, but they only added to the story. They didn't take away from it at all. And that's so beautiful. Like the same thing in the First Family and the Maggie Gray, because all those POVs, like it could be too much, but it wasn't at all. Each person added their own thing, and I appreciate it because, yeah, like you can literally see these people. Very much enjoy that. So that is my wrap up for the month of November. If you have any comments, you read any of these books, I want to hear from it, or suggestions or anything like that. But yeah, see y'all in December. Well, hell, it is December. I don't know. Bye.